This episode of LaserDiscotheque is sponsored by Good Squid, dealing in rare and vintage media out of Japan. Are you obsessed with 80s and 90s Japanese media? Good Squid can help, specializing in music and movie laserdiscs and much more. Visit the Shopify store at good-squid.myshopify.com and use the discount code LaserDiscotheque in all caps to receive 10% off any order over $40 until the end of September. Be sure to follow facebook.com/GoodSquidJapan and friend request store proprietor Kevin Kobos, that's Kobos, so you don't miss out on any of the Good Squid's amazing Facebook flash sales. If you love Japanese LDs, don't make a bad bid, but do reach out to the Good Squid.
LaserDiscotheque! LaserDiscotheque! You love LaserDisc, but you have to pay! LaserDiscotheque! LaserDiscotheque! We talk about LaserDisc, but you have to pay! VHS, no! DVD, no! Blu-ray, fuck you! CED, no! LaserDiscotheque! LaserDiscotheque! We talk about LaserDisc, but you have to pay! LaserDiscotheque! LaserDiscotheque! We talk about LaserDisc, but you in the mood!
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 7.
Ooh.
Seven.
And Dr. No, there will be no mention of James Bond whatsoever.
Oh, there will be. There will be. Don't worry.
Not if I can help it.
You're going to edit it out like a dick.
That's right. I edit the audio. I will just remove every reference.
Hey.
No,
Yeah.
I won't remove it. I'll just bleep it. That way people know what had come and gone.
You forgot to introduce yourself last podcast, so you should
Did
do
I?
it. Yeah, you did.
People know who I am.
Actually,
I don't
yeah.
need to introduce myself.
Yeah.
I bear no introduction, but okay, this is Moyke Baud, your host. You're one of your hosts. Yep.
The hostess with the mostest?
Yep.
Hostess with the mostest. In the pants, mostly, but, you know.
His
I'm not
booty is
bragging.
the grossest.
With me, as always, Sam Hatch. How you doing?
What's up, everybody? Doing well.
Cool. And also with us is Shawn, who recently sold off his high-end LaserDiscs for a bunch of cruddy anime, so you're off the podcast, Shawn.
Aww.
You're gone.
You are the weakest link.
You're a hog.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good to be with ya. As always, you jerks.
Yeah,
Cool.
we love you.
Yeah, we love you too. I love you too.
All right, well, let's waste no time. Pick up spinning. Shawn, why don't you tell us about the cruddy anime you got?
Oh, yeah, okay. So I did sell off some stuff, and it wasn't just because I wanted cruddy anime. That just came up after I sold the stuff, to be honest with you. I actually sold it to buy a computer to go with the Genlock that I bought, which is also a pickup, I guess.
Dude, you should have told me. I would have given you a computer. I've got like a shit ton.
Oh, yeah? You have a little shitty little laptop? Like
Yes!
a MacBook or something like that?
Yes!
Are you serious? I'll buy it off you, like, as soon as we're done recording.
Well, didn't you already buy one?
No,
Ooh.
I didn't buy one.
Oh, my
I lined it up with a
God.
guy, and he said, never mind.
Okay,
I don't have
I'll send you one.
So-
I'll send you one.
Dude, fantastic.
I'll need one too eventually.
I'll send you some money. So I forgot to mention it last time. I had bought a Ryuichi Sakamoto disc, and it arrived broken in the mail from Japan,
Aw.
and Sam sent me a replacement copy.
Whoa!
You're the man, Sam. Yeah, I don't know where he got it or whatever, but he sent it to me, and it was great, and it's beautiful, and I've spun it like 10 times. My wife actually digs it, which I didn't expect. And also, he used some awesome LaserDisc padding in there and sent me a talkin music disc, which is fucking epic too. My kids like rocking out to that shit. I did actually buy some anime though. There's this great seller, Otaku Joe, got me Now and Then, Here and There on LaserDisc, which is a late release anime title that I've been looking for years and years. There's a guy who's a member of the LaserDisc Forever group now named Alex Pustan. I guess that's how you say it. And he's got a website.
Poo stain?
You know, yeah, no, not Pustan. Pustan. It's Pustan. So Pustan, I don't know, whatever. However you say it, I don't care.
You are struggling not to say poo stain. I can sense it.
No, I'm not. But But anyway, he had them, and I've been admiring them forever, and I've had a bunch of people on the lookout, and nobody's been able to find them, so I'm extremely happy to have found those, you jerkbag. And so the only thing I've really been spinning is, besides that Ryuichi Sakamoto, and then now and then here and there, is some more Cowboy Bebop, because you can never get enough of that shit. I finally got to session 6. And I watched some of 7 today. I'll probably finish it up after we record. And that's all my pickups and spinning.
Most excellent.
What about you, bro, dudes?
Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
Let's see. I haven't picked anything up recently, except for, I didn't mention the last time, my boy Chris from the group sent me a couple doubles that he had, like Village of the Damned and Predator and what was the other one? Damn it,
You didn't have Predator?
No, believe it, I've never had a copy of Predator. I just had it on VHS for the longest time.
What
and
actual hell?
And I never got it on Blu-ray because I heard all the horror tales about the DNR and everything.
It's awful. Don't.
Yeah. So, and it's just one of those titles that's just been, on the list forever, along with Predator 2 and all that stuff. The other one he sent me was Cassandra. Just because it was the most erotic disc he had. And
after you did your video, you made me paranoid with that, and I went and checked mine, and thankfully mine was absolutely clean, but my goodness, I think I ran home as soon as I got in my driveway. I ran into the house and popped it in.
So bad. I even tried it on the LDS1, which is pretty forgiving with anything with rot, and it wanted no part of that disc. It will just not play it at all. So I was impressed with the rot level. And I think I've got a couple things on the way. Peter actually warned me that he's sending me a box of hand-me-downs, so I'm expecting a bunch of old corduroy pants and some weird ass Russian army LDs and who knows what, and maybe some anime stuff in there. But I'm looking forward to that.
Probably a penis pump or two, knowing
at least Peter. One, probably Swedish made. So, shout outs to our Scandinavian friends. But spinning, we've been doing a lot of fun stuff at work. It was Sean Connery's birthday. We finished from Rush, and then we just jumped right into.
Stop it!
Sorry, buddy. And I watched Brain Scan because I am programming for a little thing I'm doing, which I can actually announce now. It's called Retro World Expo, and it's mostly a gaming expo, but anything retro is welcome. So I'm going to be doing a LaserDisc panel, and it's on October 14th and 15th in Hartford, Connecticut at the convention center here. So I'm super psyched about that. But they're also going to have an after party on the first night, which is Saturday, and they wanted to do a LaserDisc screening. So I'm looking for something, and I think Brain Scan is the one, but
hell yeah.
There's a tiny bit of boobage in the beginning, and nudity's no go. So I got to make sure there's no major nip action. I'll have to get my face right up against the screen to make sure. But
I believe there's more towards the end as well.
Yeah, so I might not be able to show it after all, which I'm bummed about.
No!
But on the other hand, I watched it this week again, and I love that. And then the rest was just comfort food. Yellow Magic Orchestra, I watched the Live at Hurrah video again because I can't get enough of that damn video. And the drums are just so hot and in the pocket. It's just awesome. And I watched Macross Plus the movie because reasons.
Yes. So. Yes. You don't need many.
Exactly, right?
It's all awesome.
Okay. Well, so my pickups have been pretty slow for the month. I only got 2 in. One was Phantasm 4, which was freaking awesome.
Oh, you watched it?
Shoutouts to...
Nice.
I didn't watch it yet. I picked it up.
Okay.
I got it in the mail. Doing pickups first.
Okay,
so I picked that up. Shoutouts to John Froelich. For that hookup. He alerted me that it was on eBay, and I got a pretty good deal on it. And I also got Some Kind of Wonderful.
Nice.
Which is... Oh, God, I love that movie. It's my favorite John Hughes movie, I think, by far.
I need to get that. My wife still hasn't seen it, so I got to show that to her.
What?
I prefer it to Pretty in Pink. A lot of people like Pretty in Pink, but I like this one better. So.
I do as well.
Yep.
I think I'm a 16 Candles guy, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I don't really consider them in competition though, because I think Some Kind of Wonderful was made in response to the director not liking the way Pretty in Pink ended. He wanted to end it a different way, and the studio said, no, you gotta... She was supposed to end up with Ducky, but instead the studio pressured him to have her end up with, Blaine.
The hot guy,
and he never liked that. So in response to that, he made Some Kind of Wonderful, in which
the right choice was made. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So as far as spinning goes, I watched Bad Taste for the first time.
Nice.
I did my pick three movies and vote for one, and pissed a few people off. A few people left the group.
Yeah, man.
In response to that,
awesome.
No idea why
fantastic.
that would anger anybody, but it is what it is. But my God, did I love that movie? It's oh my God! Ever since I finished watching it, I've wanted to spin it up again, and I might this weekend. So, awesome movie.
Yeah, that's some dynamite shit.
Yeah, man. Vintage
Yep.
Peter Jackson, man.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I also saw the X-Files movie because I finished season 5 and I went on to season 6, so I'm at the beginning of season 6 now.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yep.
I actually
And-
really love that movie. I think it holds up pretty well.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually saw the movie when it first came out. I saw it at the drive-in.
Oh, nice.
And I remember watching it having absolutely no idea what the hell was going on. But now watching it, after watching, seasons 1 through 5, I'm like, it makes perfect sense. So it's...
Yeah, I always fuck with people like FEMA camps. I'm like, oh, FEMA camps, you can tell that they even gave you hints in the X-Files movie.
And we also watched Money Pit. My wife, for some reason, really had a craving for Money Pit, and she asked me if I had it on LaserDisc, and I was like, yeah. So we watched that. It's a good movie.
Nice. Laser date.
Yeah.
LaserDisc and chill.
Oh, speaking of which,
Minus the chill.
the guy who did the
LaserDisc.
Paul's LaserDisc videos joined the group recently. So
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Comedian Nick Lavalley.
yeah,
Who?
He joined
he
the
did
group.
Paul's LaserDisc. If you ever seen that classic video where he raps about his LaserDisc and he talks about how he's gonna watch Titanic with his lady and he's like naked holding the Titanic disc in front of his junk. It's classic stuff. Yeah, he's
Fucking, yeah, it's hilarious shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Boy, what's
It's been-
what's with all the naked people in LaserDiscs lately?
it just goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it's just great. Yeah, I remember encountering it like when I first joined the group, and
Yeah.
I actually got in contact with him, and I was like, my name is Shawn, and these are my LaserDiscs. And he sent me the song. He sent me the song on 7-inch. I've got 2 7-inches of that song. One on like clear Coke bottle colored vinyl, and then another on purple vinyl.
Nice.
And it's fucking awesome. The guy's fucking hilarious. I recommend checking all his shit
The
out.
Ghostbusters video is great too.
Oh yeah. He does a sequel, 2 sequels,
Yeah.
I think actually.
I have
But,
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Oh, you got to check out
That's
Paul's
awesome.
LaserDisc.
You need
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
Google
Him-
that.
Him and I think Zaran Isaac and him joining are probably like the 2 highlights of like nerdy
Yeah, that's like
YouTube people I've known
inside
of.
nerdness. Yeah, writ large.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for mentioning that, Sam. I totally forgot about it. I was nerding out about it the other
Yeah, man,
day.
LaserDisc and chill just made me flash to images of Nick with his pants off in Titanic.
And that creepy fucking stash.
Yes. Yeah, he's got a total creeper stash. It's great.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you would love this shit, Moyke. You'd love his comedy too.
Meh.
But anyway.
Moving on. All right, let's talk about the movie of the episode.
Ooh.
Yes.
Who picked it this time? I forget.
That was
it?
me, Mama
Yeah,
Jamas.
that's right. That was Sam. So
It's
why
all
don't you
Sam's
go
fault.
ahead and tell us about what you chose?
The movie for the week is, or a month, or whenever we do another podcast,
Episode.
is the
Movie of
movie
the
for the
episode.
episode is 1981's Outland, and it is a Peter Hyams flick starring the one, the only Sean Connery, and it is a space western. In fact, it's written off as a space western often. People just say, "Well, it's just high noon in space." And I'm like, well, what's the problem with that? This film...
God damn it.
Right.
I wrote in my notes space western, thinking
Oh, yeah.
I was so clever by pointing out the fact that it was a western. And
Yeah, no.
Obviously,
I
somebody
think that's
beat me
the
to
only
it.
thing. I think it's the only thing it says as the header on the Wikipedia.
Oh my god!
But,
Here I am thinking I'm so clever.
Sean Connery plays William O'Neill, who's a marshal who's sent to the ass end of space, basically, out by Jupiter at Io, and there's a titanium ore mining company on there. It's very Alien-esque. It looks like Alien. A lot of fans consider it in the exact same universe as Alien, and then, Consolidated Amalgamate or whatever the company that they all work for is some splinter group of Weyland-Yutani from the Alien franchise. But I mean, it just looks alike. It's got a great Jerry Goldsmith score, who also did Alien.
Oh yes.
And
Yeah.
these guys are bugging out. In the very, very beginning of the film, John Ratzenberger, Cliff Clavin from Cheers, and also a random snowspeeder guy from Empire Strikes Back, and of course a victim from Motel Hell, is a guy who thinks there's spiders on him, and he's working and with a bunch of other guys, and he's freaking out about the spiders in his suits, and just decides he's going to tear open his suit, and that doesn't really work very well outside on the moon of Io. And all these incidents kind of keep going on and triggering the spidey sense of O'Neill, played by Sean Connery, who's kind of dealing with being a dad and a husband out in the ass end of space, and kind of promising his wife that eventually, things will settle down and they'll move back to Earth. And he's new. He's been there for a short period of time, and you find out a little bit more about him later, and he's not really the best of the best, but once he starts discovering that there's some illegal shenanigans going on, he has to kind of determine whether or not to follow through on it and perform his job, or turn a blind eye like everybody else. And then begins a killer Western showdown for the second kind of half of the movie. And good supporting cast. Francis Sternhagen in there, James Sicking in there, Peter Boyle. Good stuff.
He was good. Yep.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of it, and I just, I love the vibe of it. I like the kind of claustrophobic nature of it. I like the sets, the 80s sci-fi stylings of it. So it was a blast revisiting it. It's one of my favorites. What about you, gentlemen?
Well,
Moyke, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. This was my first time seeing it. It's a very, slow burn, like you said, space western, movie. I could see some people, if they were to watch it and they're not into the whole slow burn type films, they might find it a little boring in parts. But the culmination at the end, and a few plot twists thrown in, it's you got to stick with it, because the payoff is definitely worth sort of a slower beginning. The set design and visuals are amazing. Like it feels like, if there really were a mining colony on a moon of Jupiter, that's exactly what it would look like. I mean, it looked so awesome, and I've never seen so many exploding heads and scanners, and it was just amazing. It was just,
and they do it really cool too.
They did.
do it like with the screen. I don't know how they stretch the film maybe or something.
Yeah.
But it's really neat how they did it.
It's a really cool effect, and it's pretty nasty. I mean, it's a gory movie, so definitely dug that. But the characters, this could have been just sort of an empty-headed sci-fi movie, but it's not. The characters are quite complex and likable. I thought it was hilarious that the only weapon to show up in the movie are like shotguns with these stupid scopes on them.
No lasers.
No, I don't know why anyone would put a scope on a shotgun.
For the long range effectiveness.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a few problems with the movie. You got idiots who are shooting at space class, with abandon, and they paid the ultimate price. And oh my God, Sean Connery's son in that movie was he almost ruined the movie for me.
His face is terrifying, man. I don't know.
It's terrifying.
Hi,
it's like
Daddy.
Hi, Dad. And he's like on lithium. I don't know. He's like. You ever
probably was.
You guys remember that story a few years ago where some 30-year-old dude got caught impersonating like a 5-year-old at school?
Yeah.
He went to an elementary school, and then they found out that he was just impersonating a kid, but he was actually like a 30-year-old creeper. That kid, Sean Connery's son in the movie, reminds me of like a 30-year-old dude just being a creepy little kid.
Will you touch my bum on Earth, Daddy? Yes, Paul, I will.
I hated.
Can I have a pony? Yes, Paul, you can.
Thankfully, he's hardly in it. But I'm like, I get why Sean Connery's not leaving with his family. It's like, if that were my kid, I'd be like, see you.
Getting as far away as possible.
Got to solve some crimes.
Yeah.
There's an opening on Io. Excellent.
That kid's gonna go Menendez brothers on that guy someday.
As a computer guy, you must have loved the extensive, digital readouts of the drug properties, where Francis Sternhagen's staring at all these little vector graphics, trying to figure out what the drug is. It's really, awesome. Really high tech.
On a TRS-80.
Yeah, man.
So I think both of you guys hit on most of the major points, man. I mean,
sorry.
No, that's okay. No, really, the similar aesthetic to Alien. It's 1980 in space, basically.
Yeah.
And like, I know a lot of people say space western and stuff, but these kind of movies always remind me of submarine movies too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's no way out.
Claustrophobia.
And if you try to get out, you're gonna die. So I think the genre of thriller, like calling this a thriller, and I know you said slow burn, Moyke, but like it just ratchets up the tension.
It does
slowly. It builds. It's crazy.
And then the payoff at the end.
Well they did it.
The payoff at the end. It's like an awesome crescendo. It's just so.
This big rampage where he pretty much just like gets the best of everyone.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's fucking amazing, and it's pitch perfect. And yeah, Jerry Goldsmith. I mean, everybody always talks about John Williams, but Jerry Goldsmith really, I mean, and like he's amazing, and this soundtrack especially shows how far he can go to make a soundtrack. And like Sam already mentioned about the similarities with Alien and stuff, he did the soundtrack for that right before he did the soundtrack for this.
And even hints at like later stuff like Total Recall too. I heard some of that in there.
Yeah. All that atonal, weird electronica. It's almost like John Carpenter shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it's stellar. And like you guys said, it's just so much fun, but it's also well made, And I think the casting of Sean Connery, who at this point in his life had done it all and was just like, I want to make a movie. I'm going to take shitty movies for money, but I'm going to do my best at them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, like how much effort you could tell he actually put a lot of effort into this character.
And I'm surprised that this movie doesn't get more mention. It's during a pivotal time, sort of late 70s, early 80s sci-fi movies.
Right before Blade Runner.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this never gets mentioned.
Yeah.
And I found that to be somewhat surprising, given its quality.
Totally underrated.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Hyams is written off as like a workman-like director a lot of times, but this thing's like gorgeous, like, widescreen imagery, and I think it's one of his better like looking films and just well thought out. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, now you didn't see it in widescreen, right?
I did, yeah.
Oh, I thought you had the
I do.
canon skin.
I've got them both, bitch.
Oh! That's funny. Shawn, what version did you watch?
The widescreen US release.
Yeah, same here. Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about the picture quality?
Not bad. It was a little noisy at times, but but compared to the pan and scan atrocity, that thing is horrible. So it was definitely a nice upgrade. So like a lot of good contrast and stuff like that, and I could see everything that was going on in the frame, which was nice because the old Warner Brothers disc from '84 is just really, really, it's VHS quality with just a little extra VHS plus. So. And rotted too.
Right. I think similarly that it's indicative of the time. It's better than a lot of other contemporary discs, released around the same time, but it's still not. It's not that great. I'd give it like a 6.
Yeah, I agree.
Sound quality's great, but picture quality's like middling in my opinion because it is really noisy and it's a fairly grainy film too. They didn't spend a lot of money making it.
True, especially with all those process effects and stuff like that. So
yeah. I actually 6 is actually my score is for the picture as well.
Nice.
I think the movie kind of suffers from the format because there are a lot of dark scenes. Remember, they're on a mining colony on a very far from the sun, so you get a lot of dimly lit interiors, and the exteriors are even darker. So, and dark scenes just don't do well in LD. As it looks like, you can see a lot more of the noise on the disc. So I think this type of movie suffers on the format, but still, it's still pretty good.
And it's definitely a nice upgrade over that crappy. I think there's only 3 pressings. I think there's like a Japanese pan and scan and the US pan and scan and the letterbox. So that's like your best bet. US letterbox all the way, man.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that I agree with you.
Cool. Awesome. All right. What about favorite lines? Do you guys have any?
I do have a favorite line.
Go for it, Sam.
It's my favorite LaserDisc break, next to maybe a couple others, maybe Big Trouble in Little China, but there's this huge fight with Sean Connery chasing down this guy and this nonstop foot chase through this kind of submarine-like environment. They finally have this standoff in a kitchen, and he lets off a couple shotgun blasts, and the guy's just kind of staggering around, figuring out what he's going to do, and then Sean Connery goes, "Think it over." And then black side break.
Yeah, I love that too. That was good.
Runner-up would be
Shawn?
any of the word wars between him and Peter Boyle. Those guys had the best conversations ever.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
they did.
You could tell, like, Peter Boyle's trying to keep his cool.
Yeah.
But you could tell deep down he just wants to throttle this
Yep.
guy. What about you, Shawn?
I don't really have a favorite line, but that whole scene, it's really quiet. That really quiet scene in the rec room between him and the good doctor.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, I don't even know why I'm here, but I know why I'm here, but I don't know why I'm here. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Basically, and I just think that whole scene is really great because they're ratcheting up the tension, and you sort of have this breath right before everything goes bonkers. You know what I mean? And I really like that moment.
Yeah, yeah, that is a great moment. I mean, you can really sense his desperation at that point. That's kind of where my line comes from as well. There weren't really a whole lot of memorable lines in this movie. That doesn't mean it's a bad film. It's just really nothing stuck out. But I do remember the one scene where he's desperately trying to find somebody to help him with these guys that are coming to kill him. And he goes into the lunchroom just trying to find anybody. And they're like, they say something like, you're supposed to be here to protect us. Where's your men?
Oh, yeah.
And he just says,
great line.
he just says, my men are shit. I don't know. It's so subtle, but it's just funny just to see his desperation, just trying to get help, and he's just basically saying my men are absolute garbage.
I think it makes westerns like almost more like real in a retroactive sense, because westerns, like the whole kind of lawless town and everything, seems like such a quaint thing from the past, but this movie putting it in space and throwing that idea into the future about law being like a human construct, and there is no law on Io except like the gravity is like 1/6 of Earth. That's about it, and you can't breathe. And like that concept of there is no law really. So would you, if it was financially in your interest, would you really stick your neck out in the middle of nowhere for a bunch of guys, who are just these nobody miners? And it really kind of brings the kind of morality of it home.
All right, Sam.
Well, right. And plus, at the end, he's like, it's basically like he gets so desperate, and then he fucks everyone over, and then he's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
You guys sort this out, bitches.
Yeah. I killed everyone. Everyone was bad. No, bye. Going back to my weird kid.
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh, stop. Oh, God, I hated it.
It's going to haunt his dreams.
Yeah.
All right, favorite scene.
Favorite scene? Who's going?
I'll go.
I'll do mine.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. The same one I just mentioned with that scene in the rec room after the exercise and whatever, and his desperation, all that kind of shit. Favorite scene, probably.
Cool.
Go for it.
I'll go.
All right, mine is when he blasts that little kid with the shotgun, ending my misery.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
That's
my
the
favorite
director's cut.
scene. It's just got to be the end battle when he's fighting these guys. It's like, it's so tense, and you wonder how he's going to survive this. And the way he actually beats them is pretty clever. And then you have the twist at the end when someone starts fighting him out of nowhere, and it's like, holy shit! I didn't see that coming at all.
Nope.
I mean, I figured there would be some sort of twist at the end, along those lines, but I didn't think it was going to be in that specific way. I don't want to give any spoilers, but so that's my favorite scene, is just the whole ending battle scene.
I'm going to go with the big excursion with Stephen Burkoff's character, who's this guy who starts going psychotic and holds a prostitute hostage in his room. And they sit there, and one guy drops him from the ceiling and just blows the guy away.
I know.
That just scarred me as a kid. This has like great flashback memories of like reading Starlog magazines and seeing this stuff on cable. And the first time I saw it was on cable, and that scene just like ingrained itself in my memory for all time. I was like, this bright red light in the room, and this guy just freaking out. It's like it was almost like Toe Cutter from the beginning of Mad Max, that level of hysteria. So
yeah. Cool. All right. Well, does anybody have anything else to say about Outland, or should we move on?
Totally underrated.
I think completely underrated. You all need to watch it, every single one
now
if you haven't seen it.
Yep. Yeah,
right now, buy a copy.
I definitely recommend it. Even if you're not down for the whole slow burn type movie, give it a chance. There's some stuff in between that'll keep you interested until the climax there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello, Sam the Culture Dog here to talk to you about Good Squid. If you've heard previous LaserDiscotheque podcast episodes or seen any of the Japanese LaserDisc update videos on my YouTube channel, you've no doubt heard me, or Moyke or Shawn, referenced the Good Squid or its proprietor, Kevin Kobos, numerous times. If you're obsessed with Japanese LaserDiscs like I am, and don't relish paying the outrageous inflated pricing found on eBay, give the Good Squid a shout and find out how awesome and affordable it can be to import those discs you've always wanted to grab. What's so special about Japanese LaserDiscs, you ask? Well, there are tons of reasons, but some of the more popular ones are exclusive movie titles, including numerous late-release pressings, obscure horror, and an amazing music disc catalog, sturdier packaging, often featuring alternate artwork, cleaner disc pressings, amazing box sets of movies, TV shows, and anime series, cool packaging inserts, and of course the fan favorite, Obi strips. No LD collection would be complete without at least one imported Japanese disc. For example, I had always wanted a copy of David Fincher's Fight Club on LD. I was, and am, a huge fan of the film, but as a year 2000 video release, it only hit LD in Japan and was pressed in very limited quantities. My pre-order with a Japanese vendor was cancelled back in 2000 and I spent the next decade and then some convinced that I might never obtain a copy. Enter the Good Squid. Once I joined up with some LaserDisc social media groups, I quickly realized that the first recommended order of business as a collector was to make Kevin's acquaintance and let him know what you're looking for. And in no time at all, he let me know that he'd procured a near-mint copy of my Holy Grail at a fraction of what it would have cost me on eBay. The Good Squid is well used to working with collectors from all around the globe, and if you have a big order and can patiently await the arrival of your beloved shiny discs, ask about the world-famous slow boat option and save yourself a couple bucks. So make sure you follow facebook.com/GoodSquidJapan and friend request store proprietor Kevin Kobos, that's Kobos, and let him know what you're looking for. And make sure you don't miss out on as many amazing flash sales. And if you're itching to grab some goodies right now, make sure you visit the Shopify store at good-squid.myshopify.com and browse an awesome listing of in-stock titles ready to make a new home on your storage shelf of choice. Use the discount code LaserDiscotheque in all caps to receive 10% off any order over $40 until the end of September. If you love Japanese LDs, don't make a bad bid, but do reach out to the Good Squid.
Let's go into our top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Top 5 LaserDiscs that every collector should have. There's 5 of them.
Oh, beautiful.
Bravo.
Oh, the best one yet.
Bravo. All right, yes, this is
Yeah,
the top 5
super.
essential LaserDiscs that you, yes you, should own in your collection.
That song's going out to Stefan Hamburger, by the way, so I know he likes the LaserDisc games.
This one's for you, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like you should do it at the end of the top 5. It reminded me of Europe.
Yeah, we might, we might bring it back.
Final countdown.
I might do a final LaserDisc, at the end.
All right, so what criteria did you assholes use to do this?
I guess for me it was just, the stuff I'd seen that I owned that other people own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like that most people I've seen over the years collecting end up just having. That, and just a couple of things that I picked that I think are essential, like really, like that I've over the years said, if you're looking for advice on which edition to get, it's fucking this one. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So that's my criteria.
Okay. What about you, Samuel?
I threw out about 10 different criteria, and I don't know if I ever stuck with one of them. It kind of started off the same way with the big heavy hitters, but I'm like, but I've already talked about the big heavy hitters so many times. So I'm like, how about just the movies that I think you should watch? So that's pretty much that's pretty much what I went with. But some of it's stuff that I know people do like to seek out and that sort of thing. So it's just kind of a mishmash. So
Okay.
I was going to cheat, but I decided to back away from that. So I was just going to be
cheated a lot.
Yeah,
I cheated a lot.
I cheated once.
I was just going to be like every James Cameron movie, every John Carpenter movie, etc.
Done. All right. Good night, everyone.
Yep.
Yep, all right, we're done. That's our top 5. Bye.
My criteria was it had to be cheap, so I'm
Okay.
trying to aim for around the $20 or less mark.
Okay.
Had to be common, and also had to be awesome. Because
All right.
if it's not awesome, what freak would you want it?
Yeah. Not bad, dude. Not bad.
Yeah. So, do you guys think we'll have any crossover?
Probably. At least one. I think one. There's one set that I picked that I think everyone else picked.
I think so
At least
too.
one of you picked.
At least one.
I'm pretty sure as well.
Did you guys have any also rans or
Probably too many of them. In my case, yeah.
Yeah, right. Everything else.
Yeah, everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, I threw out everything from Criterion.
Yeah.
Because those are all pretty. You could say they're essential depending on what kind of movie you like.
Yep.
And all their box sets are phenomenal, so you can't pick one. And since I wanted to talk about the Saint, I said I can't pick the Saint.
All right, that's nice. That works.
Fair enough. Yeah, I had some honorable mentions.
Oh, that's what they are, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mine were the Lion King box set, because you can usually get that for pretty cheap. It's a really nice set, and The Lion King's a very good movie, in my opinion. So, also, Apollo 13, again, really cheap, common movie, but it is amazing. It looks excellent on LaserDisc. The transfer is...
Great sound, too.
And, Yep. So, Apollo 13 is a good one. And Blade Runner. Non-specific about the version because you can make arguments for some over others depending on which ending you like and what cuts you like. And
that was on my also ran, too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some of the editions are more prone to rot than others. So, because of that, it didn't quite make my list. So
yeah, the Brazil box was in my top 5 for a while, and then I was like, nah, and then
the killer, hard boiled, all that stuff. I just figured I'd just cross it all.
Yeah.
But do you think Brazil has a wide appeal? I mean, not everybody is gonna like that movie.
Too bad.
Well, no, but the edition.
They better like it.
Too bad. Yeah. I think the edition itself. I mean, I think with LaserDisc, part of the packaging is part of it too, and plus the amount of extras, just the aesthetic.
Yeah, but the movie
definitely helps these things out. But
the movie itself has a very limited appeal, wouldn't you say?
Not as limited as you think.
No.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. All right. Well, let's go into it.
Yes.
Number 5.
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, but every time I put it in my little vote thing, everyone's kind of like,
Well, you do pick really cool other movies though, so you usually pick really popular ones that everyone's seen. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and that's not my go-to Friday night kind of movie anyway. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Okay.
Anyway,
number 5, Sam, go ahead.
I'm going to go with The Crow. One of my favorites. I don't care if you get the DTS version or the Dolby Digital version or just the plain old Pro Logic Matrix surround version that I picked up when it came out day and date from Suncoast Video. One of my favorite movies. Alex Proyas did it. It's one of the first movies to kind of really get a good Hong Kong action vibe in an American action movie. Brandon Lee, big fan of the limited amount of work he put out there. I also recommend Rapid Fire and Laser Mission. But yeah, The Crow was a seminal release. It was one of those ones that kind of became associated with myself and LaserDisc. My roommates were like, "Oh, show The Crow. He's got The Crow. It's awesome. You're going to hear that knife go behind the couch in a second, and this is great." So it was one of my good indoctrination discs, and it's always stood by me throughout the years for sure.
Yeah, it's funny when I first started thinking about this list, the first movie that came to my mind was The Crow.
Nice.
It just seems like a quintessential LaserDisc.
It really is.
The only reason it didn't make my list was because I don't like the movie. So I was like, well, I can't really put a movie on this list that I don't like. I can't really.
I saw that movie 10 times in the theater, so I'm not really a fan either.
Yeah, you hate it.
It's the 11th time.
It's the 11th time,
yeah. All right. Sean, why don't you go on with your number 5?
All right, I figured I'd get the cheating right out of the gate, and I'm going to go with a triptych of box sets that I see in pretty much everyone's collection, and I've seen in every lot that I've ever bought, and that's the Aliens Abyss box sets.
Yes. That was my everything. James
everybody
Cameron.
has them. Yeah, everybody's got them. I still own them.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Come on, that's egregious.
I think they're essential.
That's egregious cheating, though. Those movies aren't even if you said Aliens 1, 2, and 3, I'd be like, all right, fine.
No, it's true. They really are
these
the
are
same.
Totally different movies.
For some reason, the Abyss, Aliens, and Alien are all one. They're all in A. They're always nestled close to each other. And for some reason, I think of them as a trio. Those 3 box sets.
They're lined up right next to each other in my.
And if I had to pick box sets,
plus the editions look the same.
They do.
You know what I mean? The box sets and everything all look the same.
And they're the first ones you should get. Period.
Yeah. It's in everyone's collection. I think it's essential. Yeah. It's just an essential set that having all 3.
I got your back.
I don't think I have the Abyss box set.
And if you could probably get all 3 of them sealed for less than $20, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That fits all your criteria, bro.
So that's your 5, 4, and 3 then?
No, it's just 5.
Okay. Sure. All right, whatever.
I told you I was cheating.
Good for you.
All right, my number 5, for my number 5, I went straight for the obvious one, and for me, that's Braveheart.
Yeah.
I don't think I've yet to see a collection that didn't have Braveheart, so this is probably already covered. But, hey, it's an awesome movie. It looks great. it's cheap, and you walk down the street, you'll trip over one every 10 seconds. So that's really all I have to say about Braveheart. So
Nice.
That's my number 5.
Super nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Does anybody here not have Braveheart in their collection?
I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I knew it. I knew I would say that. Every person has this in their
except
collection.
But I did for a long time. I had that. I mean, I gave away a couple that are super common, like that and Forrest Gump. Shit, a couple of Speed. I gave them to somebody with a player that barely worked.
I love the sound on Braveheart too, man. I just get in the mood immediately when I hear that music and the icon logo and the going over the mountaintops in the beginning.
Yes, I love it too.
Yep.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
Number 4. Sean, why don't you start us out?
Pardon me, gentlemen. The Japanese edition of Fifth Element.
Nice.
That
was a hot topic this week.
It's still pretty cheap to find. It's beautiful inside and out. It's worth it just to be able to look at that cover image, man. I'm telling you. The only thing, obviously, I'd caution anyone to lower their expectations, not with picture quality, but when you get it, you're going to have to adjust your brightness down a lot. Because for some reason they transferred it super bright. But I think it's essential. And because it's really hard to find a non-rotted copy of it, a US copy of it, I think it's essential viewing. And it's just a great sci-fi movie. Everybody who likes sci-fi loves that movie, so there you go. Number 4.
How common would you say that is, though?
Pretty common.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Yeah, lots of us own it.
That's
I mean,
fair.
if I posted on Facebook, the Facebook page right now, I bet you 20, 30, 40 people would say I got it.
All right. I was just asking. All right, my number 4. So I wanted to get a cartoon on this list, and Lion King didn't quite make it, and that's because it was beat out by Toy Story, the box set. I'm going with the box set because it is a beautiful, beautiful release, and it's very easy to find, and it's usually not too much. Usually, you're at the higher end of my criteria, where you can get it for like $30-$40, I think. But I've run into 3 copies of the box set, the whole time I've been collecting, so it can't be that hard to find. So yeah, Toy Story box set. It looks great on LaserDisc. It's a iconic movie, in my opinion, and it deserves a spot in everyone's collection for sure. So that's my number 4.
Yeah, that box set is almost like Criterion level.
It is.
Extras, dude. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with that pick, dude.
Cool. All right, Sam, your number 4.
My number 4 is the United States pressing of The Fifth Element. I say, don't be a lazy ass. Go look at some inbox and find yourself a Pioneer pressing because it smokes the Japanese one. Except for the cover art, of course. The Japanese one still ones with its beautiful, gorgeous gatefold and the original French poster art. But the U.S. version is reference quality audio and video, and it's one of my favorite movies. So, yeah.
Yeah, have fun getting an eBay seller to check those mint marks.
No, man, you just got to do some detective work like me. You look at those photos and you zoom in, stuff like that. It just takes a little legwork, man. Yeah.
All right. I concede.
Lazy collectors, look for the mint marks.
That's like rad level of searching there, finding a non-rotted copy of Fifth Element.
There's actually more Pioneer pressings out there than I initially thought. It's not like some of the ones where there's just like a limited amount of Austrian pressings of some normal rotters, but this is a decent amount out there. Just like Men in Black also has a good amount of non-rotted copies out there, but yeah.
All right, well, when you find one for me, let me know.
Oh, you don't have one? Like a non-rotted
No,
US?
I've only got the Japanese one.
Oh, I have like 2, I think. I'll send you one.
Gimme. All right, cool. All right, number 3. Why don't I go first?
Why not?
Go for it, dude.
So this is where I cheat. My number 3 is one of the Evil Dead movies. Doesn't matter which one. Pick your favorite. I prefer 2.
I do too.
But a lot of people like 1 and a lot of people like 3, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're all great.
Yep.
No LaserDisc collection is complete without Evil Dead. So that's my number 3.
Yeah. Nice one, dude. Nice. Sam, what do you think for number 3?
Number 3, I'm going to break the rules a little bit, but not like what everyone has in their collection, basically, but what everyone should have in their collection, and that is a seminal LaserDisc release called Strange Days. Co-written by James Cameron, directed by Catherine Bigelow, criminally underrated science fiction flick from the mid-90s. Ralph Fiennes is amazing in it, and it's got some great special features. You can get a DTS version, which crushes sound-wise, but the Dolby Digital one also crushes too. Good extras, commentary track on there, which is more of like a seminar that was given at some college or something like that than a traditional commentary. But yeah, great release, and it's criminally underserved. I think there's like a Blu-ray in Germany or something like that, but there should have been a Criterion collection of this thing ages ago, and LaserDisc is still pretty much the best way to see it. So, Strange Days. Yeah. Get it.
Yeah. Great pick. Angela Bassett's really good in that too.
Yeah, and you can get it cheap compared to how much it cost when it came out, because it was one of those Fox ones that was like $60 or something. So, and now you can get it for next to nothing. Yeah.
What's the name of the love interest in that movie? She's ugly as fuck, and I can never believe she gets.
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis.
Yeah. Thank you. Every time I see her, I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Ugh.
You know, I agree.
Anyway, but yeah, that movie's great.
I actually agree with that. So,
all right, nice.
Conversation for another day, though.
Great soundtrack too.
Yeah, really good soundtrack. Yep, I agree.
Yes,
and really, that's one of those movies where if you'll probably get it in your first lot. To be honest.
Yeah, it's true. It is relatively common. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a nice rack at the beginning of that movie too.
Hell yeah. All right, number 2.
Wait, no. I didn't even do number 3, jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't?
You skipped over Shawn.
No.
We don't care about your number 3. Number 2.
You're right. Fuck me, huh?
Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I always got to rep some anime. So my number 3 pick is any edition of Akira.
Yeah, good one.
So whether you like anime or not, Akira is just classic film.
Yep.
I threw out all the Criterions, but I mean, if I had to tell you to get one, I like the Criterion one the best, the trifold, or whatever. But that's also because I have great memories of when I first started collecting the format, and I spent $100 on a sealed copy like an idiot.
You better like it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my number 3. On to number 2.
Does that have an English audio track, or is it subtitled?
It does have it has the same dub you have. So it has a streamlined dub.
Wonderful.
Which I hate. Dub sucks balls.
Alrighty. So number 2, Shawn, why don't you continue?
Why don't I? No discussion of essential LaserDiscs for your collection would be appropriate without discussing Star Wars.
Oh yeah, someone had to do it eventually.
Yep. And there are lots of different editions out there. Some of them are really cool. Most of them are really cool, to be honest. For some reason, I have this really strange desire to own the German Krieg der Sterne box set that has the same design as that like special edition gold and stuff.
How would you watch it? Wouldn't it be in PAL?
It is in PAL.
Yeah, but I just want to own it because it's Star Wars. But anyway, and I would get a PAL NTSC machine, dog. So anyway, but the edition you gotta own, in my opinion, is the dog. Japanese special collection.
Hey, you broke the rule. You're supposed to bring that up after a 20-minute argument about which is the best version, according to Garth.
I forgot. Yeah. That's usually because those arguments happen at like 8 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
From people from other countries, and I'm sleeping. But yeah, the Japanese special collection. I mean, some people say the original CBS Fox editions are basically ports of these. I'm not going to compare and contrast. I just know the CAV 3-disc editions, the Japanese special collection, they're beautiful. Warts and all, at least I always say this, warts and all, because you can see print damage, you can see hairs on the print stuff, but at least you can see the detail. It's not smeared out of like say something like the definitive box, which is a great box set, but it loses just because it's DVNR to death, and it's just smear crazy, man. And yeah, so there you go. A Japanese special collection. If you want Star Wars, that's the way to get it. And they're reasonably cheap. You can find them for about $15-$20 a disc, depending on, and that's really nice condition. You could probably find them for $10 a piece if they were shit.
What? Where are you finding them this cheap?
We don't mention that in Gen Pop.
Yeah, there are some scalpers out there. If you look for those on eBay, you're gonna get prepared to pay through the teeth. But they're really not worth what they go for there. So.
Yeah. I mean, unless you got an eBay, get an eBay alert, and the second they pop up for cheap, snag them.
I mean,
or talk to our friend Kevin Kobos, or talk to some other members that live in Japan.
Well, I already have it, but I'm talking about other people. But.
Well, yeah, I know that's why I'm giving them advice.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I'll go next. My number 2 is Star Wars.
Big surprise.
But boy, talk about crossover. Yeah, Star Wars. But I'm going to go definitive collection because I think Shawn is full of shit. I think that other edition is hard to find. Harder than the definitive collection. And the definitive collection is, it's a solid. I think the special collection is better. If you can find it and if it's cheap, definitely go with that one. But you're more likely to find the definitive collection, and it's good. You don't have those goofy ass edits. It's the way Star Wars was meant to be seen, and maybe you'll get a cool little book out of it. So
with lots of errors.
Yeah, it's George Lucas' self-congratulatory masturbation book.
With lots of errors.
Exactly.
And actually, I mean, it's nitpicking, of course, but some people are going to do this anyway in the comment section, I'm sure. But there were changes in the definitive collection. There were even some with the Japanese special collections.
What?
And it's the audio.
What?
Yeah,
What
audio.
There's a few audio changes
it's
or
crazy.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like that noise that Obi-Wan makes has changed like 50 fucking times.
Nah, so what?
The
That's
Dragon
minor.
Claw.
I'm talking
I'm
about.
saying that
I'm talking about
know.
people's heads shifting off their shoulders to avoid getting shot by a laser. I'm talking,
Yes.
I'm talking those types of
Yeah,
edits.
yeah. Or other stuff. Go ahead. But I can't disagree with you. I mean, I think the definitive box is fantastic.
You kind of have to have them all.
Yeah. With Star Wars, you're going to own more than one edition.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've got an entire shelf just with all my Star Wars stuff on it. It's insane. I've got more.
Yeah, I used to be like that too. I got rid of everything with the Japanese special collection. Now I'm trying to,
thin the herd.
I've only got a certain amount of space, and I'm paring down.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Sam, please tell me you picked Star Wars.
I guess I should pick Star Wars, the Technodisc edition of A New Hope, because that's the one that hasn't been represented yet. But I'm going to buck the trend because I figure everyone's going to talk about Star Wars. And I'm going to go and give a shout out to Peter Biancardi and say GoldenEye because you need to have
What did I tell you? No talk.
No, man, you got to have GoldenEye. Hey, man, I didn't even like the film when I saw it in the theaters. I almost walked out at the end of the pre-teaser bit, the pre-title sequence. Now I love it. It's taken it's so 90s. It gets better with each viewing. But killer DTS version, killer Dolby Digital version, and it is like a legitimate special edition, not in box form. It's got the great Elizabeth Hurley World of 007 bonus feature on there, lots of extras, commentary tracks, etc. A lot of bang for your buck, and it literally will be a buck if you can find it somewhere, probably. Great stuff, reference quality video, and if you want to destroy your house, the bass is cooked on the Dolby Digital version, so it's like many decibels higher than it should be. So get prepared to pay your neighbors.
Does it hit the brown?
It does, yeah. Every shelf is going to come off the wall, and you're going to have to pay some fees, but it's worth it. And so just the kind of essential 90s LaserDisc, really. So get it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and there's a DTS version, right?
There is, yeah, which is definitely worth picking up. And that seems to be going up in price lately, too. I don't know what the deal is with that, but DTS people, man, they love raking people over the coals for those discs.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly do.
For other movies that are shitty, not this one.
I know, right? Though I almost bought Firestorm
I mentioned
for
Apollo 13
$12
at the beginning of this segment, but don't spend $30 on the DTS version of Apollo 13. Just turn your volume up and
yeah, right.
So and there's a paint and scan GoldenEye too, which I didn't know.
There is, and it is a bitch to find one that is not shredded. If you go on eBay right now, see if you can look for it. It looks like someone's cat ate it, and like half of the jacket is torn off. And that is like the regular condition. You can find the pan and scan one. I don't know what that says about people that collect pan and scan or what it is about this particular title, but every single one is ganked. So a nice member was able to hook me up with a copy. It's still relatively ganked, but it's less ganked than the ones I see on eBay. So.
Those pan and scan animals.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they just throw it around the room.
Pan and scanimals.
Pan and scanimals. From the makers of Garanimals. Pan and scanimals.
Gotta collect them all.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Enough about GoldenEye. All right. Let's go on to number 1.
Number
Sam,
1.
go ahead.
Yanni live at the
Please.
Acropolis.
Wow.
No,
You know, I actually thought about putting this on my list.
Yeah, that's just an also ran. But I'm actually going to go with the one movie that I would actually take with me to a desert island if someone said, take one LaserDisc fool and move to a desert island. And that would be Big God Mother in Trouble in Goddamn Little China. The best movie John Carpenter ever made, and it belongs in your collection, and you must have the letterbox version. And it's not the ultimate transfer, it's not the ultimate audio, but it is the ultimate LaserDisc. So get that sucker.
And I will say it's better than the Japanese version.
Oh yeah,
the aspect ratio on the Japanese version is can't even say it's
that's
control.
something we should talk about sometime. Is totally wonky aspect ratios because Peter just found one, I think. Halloween 2.
Halloween 2, yeah.
The aspect ratio was like kind of squeezed, but kind of not. So someday we'll have to.
Maybe we'll invite him on to talk about it.
That would be an excellent idea.
Maybe.
Yeah, pretty good idea. Huh? Anyway, that's a great pick. In fact, I'm somewhat ashamed that it did not make my list. It probably should have. So there you go.
Yeah. It is going up in price now, so I guess maybe that's not as easy to find for cheap as it used to be. But yeah, get it.
Yep. And get the black one, not the white one.
Yes, get the black one with the little letterbox logo on the top there. Yep.
Yep. Good. Cool. All right, Shawn.
I'm going totally common, and I don't know, dude. I had to pick this one as number 1, and it's the Terminator 2 Pioneer Special Edition.
Yeah, man.
Huh. Which
think
one's
it's
that?
essential.
What does that look like?
That's the big box set.
Yeah.
I don't.
The one with it's leatherette
And the foil.
and it has
on the cup front.
Yeah, it has a big metal piece on the front that's T2 stamped or whatever, and when you open it, on one side there's the Terminator, and then the other side it's the fire behind him, and it's the exoskeleton or endoskeleton, whatever the fuck you call it.
It's gorgeous.
And yeah, it's just it's gorgeous. I mean, the edition is so wonderful. It's every time somebody's like, "What the fuck are those?" I'm like, "Check this out," and I pull that fucking box set out, and everyone's impressed because everyone loves that movie. Or at least no one hates it, I don't think.
And they press so many copies, too, so you can get it cheap. So
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to go up in price ever.
Yeah, I got to get that.
You don't have it?
I suppose the Japanese edition's a little more expensive.
Yeah, and I think it's got an extra disc in it, too. But
I think it actually does. I think it does. I think the only content that's extra, though, is like the T2 making of 8-inch is like included. But it's
something like that.
Full 12-inch disc or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's easy as fuck to find, and you're never going to regret purchasing it for $5. You know what I mean?
It's got the Guns N' Roses video, which apparently they took off of all modern like Blu-ray releases and stuff.
Releases. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I've got the lame gatefold.
So do I.
So do I.
So.
Of the theatrical and the long version.
I actually also have the extra lame pan and scan single sleeve double disc edition.
Nice. Director's pan and scan though. Yeah, secretly. Yeah.
Right. Secretly. Yeah.
It was before he started
You're
putting
off
that.
the podcast.
T2 Pioneer Special Edition. Actually every Pioneer Special Edition's pretty cheap and a pretty awesome box set, but this one takes the cake.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, my number 1, and I went totally practical on this one.
Rad.
My choice was Video Essentials.
Look at you.
What?
It is an essential release. Yeah.
Oh, it has the word essentials in it. I get the joke now. Nice.
Well, I didn't mean that, but sure.
Yeah, sure he didn't.
But anyway, every collector should have a calibration disc in their collection because, I think the difference between a calibrated set and a non-calibrated LaserDisc set makes a huge difference.
True.
So you definitely got to get one of those and use it.
Plus
get one with the blue filter.
Those test movies are great, man.
They are.
Yeah. Those
awesome.
Cool guys running away from the cops, the ballerinas.
The Amish
dude
kid
selling fruit.
I want to see this movie. I wish somebody would turn that into a movie.
Yes, actually, someone should make some sort of storyline to connect all that.
Just dub it over.
Yep.
That's actually awesome advice, Moyke.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, that was our top 5 essential LaserDisc.
Oh, no. You know what that was? That was the final LaserDisc.
Oh man, we're gonna get content flagged.
Oh yeah. Damn it. Change the pitch or something.
Well, since we're making
You're touching my
Is this covered under-
penis. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on, shall we?
Glad we toned it down for this episode, guys.
Yeah, this is like a reaction to me saying, I don't want to swear too much in the podcast, and I dropped like every word possible during my Big Trouble in Little China review.
Yep, there we go.
Losing all my fans.
All right.
Yeah, breaking the law, bro.
Yeah, man.
Breaking the law.
Hell yeah. All right, let's move on to what you gonna pick?
Hot topics.
Hot topic.
Hot topics.
Topics in the morning, topics in the evening.
Topics from the LDF.
All right. Well, let's just blast right
Yes.
through this here.
Tearing through.
CRT discussion. Anthony Barcelieri? Anthony Bacalaire?
What up, Anthony?
What's up, Tony?
What up, Annie?
All right. So he posted a CRT that he saw in a thrift store and was wondering whether or not he should buy it. And the obvious answer is no. Okay, moving on. No, just kidding. What do you guys think about CRTs?
I think a lot of things about
love them.
CRTs.
Yeah, I love them. To be honest, the only thing I don't dislike about them is they're heavy and hard to move around. But besides that, I have a 36-inch Trinitron. And man, LaserDiscs look, even uncalibrated when I first got it, they just look crisp and clear and delicious. And yeah, it's, I love them. I mean, you can get them for cheap. Most people are trying to give them away. That's pretty cool too. And yeah, they're out of the box set up to view LaserDiscs. So I think that's, a big pro, but.
Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love CRTs as well. I own quite a few CRT computer monitors, and I've got nothing against them really, in general. But I think I don't think they give you the picture that is so vastly superior over other options that make it worth having to deal with. Sticking this thing somewhere, or having to carry it around. I mean, and you're very limited by your screen size. I mean, what's the biggest CRT made? Like a 36-inch, maybe?
I think 40-inch was the biggest they ever made. I think a Mitsubishi.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 41-inch.
But even still, having to carry that thing, move that thing around, just storing it somewhere. Don't get me wrong. If I had the room, I would totally have a CRT. It would, I'd use it for gaming. I'd have a LaserDisc player hooked up to it. Wouldn't be my main thing that I watched it on, but I would probably have one somewhere. But I just don't have the room for it because they're freaking huge. As somebody who carried their 30-inch widescreen CRT TV to their early years of college.
Oh yeah,
carried it up three flights of stairs every semester. I know exactly how much of a pain in the ass they are, and I cannot recommend them to other people at this day and age when you can get a plasma or something else that looks just as good. So I don't know. That's my take on it.
Sam, your thoughts?
I have a complicated relationship with CRT TVs. One, I love them because I own many of them. I got a Magnavox 27-inch, and then I got a rear projection one, Sony, and then I got a Trinitron at work that I got for free off of Craigslist not too long ago because we had like an Y one in there that died, and it was like a Sony Vega knockoff, and I'm like, well, let's just go get the real deal. Pluses are you can get them for free, and they're everywhere.
And not only can you get them for free, but you can get like high-end CRTs that probably at one time cost like $1,500, and you're getting them for free.
Yeah, the one that was posted online was an HD one, and there were some like weird, interesting like crossover period ones where they had like widescreen units, and some that have HDMI and all that stuff. So it's kind of this interesting best of both worlds thing where you can have this widescreen set, but also have CRT black levels, etc. Maybe I wouldn't pay for it, but I just look on OfferUp or Craigslist or something until the one I want shows up, because guaranteed sooner or later it'll show up. And because they're so bulky, people just want them gone. And you can just show up as long as you got a big burly friend with you to help lift them. It's yours. So yeah, on the plus side, there's that. They're cheap. They are negatively super bulky. But on the plus side, as Shawn mentioned, they do play well with lasers. I think people kind of parrot a lot of bullshit with LaserDisc in general, like, you know, you can only buy a Pioneer or your mom's gonna die. CRT, LaserDisc was meant for CRT. It's analog. It needs to be seen on an analog. It's like, that's great, but I think like 80% of people that say that don't really understand any of it or have seen any alternatives. They just say that because that's what everybody says. I think CRT doesn't necessarily look cinematic. I think the only time I've seen my LaserDiscs like look like cinema was on my projector, which was an HD projector. Like the way it does the colors and the gradients and stuff like that. But CRT looks killer because its contrast ratio is badass. And you need to actually like really boost the hell out of your contrast and stuff on HD sets, because it makes LaserDisc look washed out if you just plug and play it usually. So where CRT is just bam, it just pops like right in your face. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but you know, I certainly would go pick one of those HD sets up, even though I have no particular need for one or room for one if I saw it cheap enough.
Yeah. Same with me, man. I like Toshiba. For some reason, I got those Toshiba LaserDisc players, and I want everything like to pair with it. Like, yeah. There's a Cinema Series widescreen CRT HD set, and I would love to. I would actually pay for it.
I was just talking about like when widescreen TVs first started dropping in the 90s, and there was really no like material for them except for, you know, you had those limited piles of LaserDiscs that were anamorphically enhanced. But ever since I saw those things, man, I wanted one. So now I'm like, I can probably get one for free. So it's a little bit of fantasy wish fulfillment, but I definitely I think I'm going to grab one eventually.
Yeah, I think bringing it all back, I think Moyke's right that there are better options. Mm-hmm. You know, he went plasma.
Plasma's a great option, and you can get those cheap too. Just go to Peter's neighborhood and get them for free.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Just dig through the garbage. You'll find 2 or 3.
Right. Yep. He's like, oh, you don't have free plasma sets and shit? I'm like, no way, dude, not down in Florida.
Yeah.
Nothing's free down here except the old CRTs.
But people have brought up the good point too, like wait like for around like Black Friday or like big kind of sales times, because people are going to be ditching their old sets now that they had to go and run out and buy the new 4K one. So
good advice. Yeah. I would also say there's a lot of nobody ever talks about this, but the Mitsubishi rear projection DLP televisions are relatively easy to find. They're fucking huge. I think the biggest they made was like a 90-inch.
Yeah, I know a couple people with those things.
Besides having to, oh, dude, and it handles HD content beautifully, and it handles standard definition content beautifully. You can hook up your VHS player to one of those, and it looks pretty good.
See, I thought people said rear projection TVs were bad for LaserDisc. They didn't.
I'm not a big fan of like CRT rear projection. I mean, me and Peter have had good results with anime on there, but yeah, for those DLP ones though, yeah, it'll look pretty tasty on there.
Yeah, because DLP, that's the shit they use in the movie theaters. Yeah. You know what I mean? That technology. But yeah, I mean, I don't like. Okay, the only bad thing about, because I've got a Sony rear projection like Sam does, and the only thing bad about it really is that you have to be at the exact right viewing angle.
Yeah, true.
You can't go anywhere else.
Yeah, you can't be above it, below it, to the side.
Even like a couple inches, or it starts to look like garbage, or the picture starts to go away. You know, that's why they suck for LaserDiscs. You know, for anything really. But
that's to my point though. These things, while they're, you know, you have a whole list of positives about them, they're just not practical.
That's just for the rear ones.
No, but that doesn't happen. Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't happen with those DLP Mitsubishis. That doesn't happen with those.
No, I just mean, you know, size-wise and all the other shit that comes with it. I mean, those things are huge, aren't they?
Well, you could get, I mean, yeah, they made 50-inch models. They made 60, 70, 75, 80, and 90, I think, inch models.
I know, but but they're not flat screen. You can't just, you know, one person carry them.
No, but they're way thinner. They're like a third as fat as like a regular rear projection television.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
they're not as like front heavy. Like my Trinitron it's crazy. All of the weight is where the screen is, but you've got 4 feet of real estate behind it that you also have to carry that weighs like a pound. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
So let's talk
anyway,
real
so
quick.
that's enough. Yeah.
Let's talk real quick about people getting scammed. So it looks like on LaserDisc Forever, quite a few people have been running into a few situations where they're buying discs and not receiving them. One such instance was Maxine Devlin talking about David Cummings. I guess a lot of people had bought discs off him, and I remember when he posted his discs for sale. There were a few that I was interested in, but I don't know. Like lately, I just haven't been messaging people, even though there's stuff I want. I just pass on it. But also, Wiley Meow brought up Ricardo Thomas, who we all know. That's our buddy from Spain there that likes to rip people off on a regular basis. Oh, yeah, Portugal. That's right. Sorry.
Portugal.
Yeah, let's get that right. Portugal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Spain. My bad. But yeah, he's a well-known LaserDisc scammer who, for some reason, gets some love over at LaserDisc. Or LaserDisc database. Yeah,
there's a pretty controversial thing there.
Yeah, I actually think, to be honest with you, that whole Ricardo Tomas thing is this big long saga, and you can check it out over in the forums at LLDDB.
We'll post a link in the description.
There you go.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, because and he's a well-known scammer. A lot of us longtime members of the Facebook groups post about him, and it really sucks that Wiley missed out on those warnings. We don't post them as much as we used to, but he's a seller that he's probably known by like 50 different names. Different handles on eBay,
Karate,
even on LaserDisc database. Yeah, LD Magic, a bunch of them, man. And he's always selling some hide-in player, and then he either delivers it broken or doesn't deliver it at all after you paid him. And he always ends up screwing somebody over. And I think that there is like a whole thread sort of where people are like, oh, I totally ship things to me, and he's the awesomest seller ever. And I think it's him using other names to say he's awesome.
Right.
Because he's that much of a fucking megalomaniac.
Interesting.
But I mean, as far as like not getting scammed, like I think you should always insist on paying with PayPal, because a lot of people will scam you with other payment methods.
Yep.
And always, if you don't know somebody, like if you aren't like friends with them on regular Facebook and like you contact them all the time with PM, like, then I wouldn't friends and family anybody.
No. Yeah, I agree.
Ever pay friends and family. Just pay a buck or two extra to cover the fee if you really feel bad about, making somebody else pay a fee. But protect yourself. That's what protects you from getting fucked over.
Yeah.
And too many people are, and that's the thing, people are nice. That's what scammers count on. The fact that you're a really nice person.
Yep. If somebody insists that you pay with friends and family, that should be a red flag.
Yeah,
to you.
Just that's red. Oh, totally. No, thank you. Sorry.
Yep.
You're totally you're running with the devil at that point. And I just, please do protect yourself, because I hate hearing people get scammed, and I've gotten scammed. You know what I mean? I've gotten scammed from buyers even. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But that's just that's why we're here. Also, if you're ever selling to someone overseas and they ask you not to claim the actual value, that's a red flag too. Claim the actual value, because they're going to tell you it arrived broken and they need a refund.
Yep. And
if you don't insure it for what they paid for it, you're going to get nothing.
Right.
You know what? And you're going to be out the disc and out the money.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons I don't ship overseas, because it just avoids all this bullshit. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just kind of do a blanket ban on that.
To be honest, I use the eBay global shipping program, which everyone from around the world hates, because it pretty much insists that you claim real value. Because it plugs it in from the metrics that eBay has. It basically insists, like, oh, this is what you sold it for? This is the real value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm always like, blame your country, not me. I'm not charging you import fees. Yep.
Very true. Okay, so just be careful out there, avoid Portugal, pretty much. So.
Yeah, that sucks to say.
Yeah, and I feel bad. I don't jump on like people that I've just seen posting for like the first time and they've got things to sell. I don't really jump into that. So I feel bad because I know they're trying to sell something, but it's usually somebody that's established themselves a little bit that I'll buy something from. So.
I'll do it, but it's you're not getting friends and family. It's going to be
no way.
You're getting a regular payment, because I will do a retract on that. So anyway, I think we've covered that enough. Let's go over the LDF data. So Vincent Onorati our good friend over at LaserDisc Forever,
Vincent.
provided us with a little bit of detail about the, I don't know, what is it, membership makeup of LaserDisc Forever?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the admins of the LaserDisc Forever group now have what they call data insights, which we can track how many people join, how many people are leaving, the percentage it's up or down, and blah, 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 blah. And it's got some really cool information in there that, like, okay, obviously the most people that are there from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada.
Well, wait, don't give us the
Germany,
answers. Don't give us the
weird.
answers.
No. I'm just telling you this one, and then I'm going to ask you a bunch of other questions. So
Okay.
slow your roll.
Chill out, brah.
Chillax.
Fine.
So, and Australia.
No, stop. No, just
So now that we know that, I mean, since we know the U.S. is where everyone's at, well, not everyone, but the majority of the people, what do you think, as far as membership is concerned, where do you think the largest concentration of group members is? What city or what state?
Chicago?
Sam, what do you think?
Chicago, Illinois?
Yeah, I'm going Los Angeles.
Sam, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding. 145 people
Yeah.
are from Los Angeles. The closest to them is New York,
Woo!
and then London, England.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which has almost double the amount of people in the group as Chicago.
It does seem like everybody's from Chicago, though.
It does.
Yeah. So another question that I think is interesting is the amount. Oh gosh, the demographics of the group. Like as far as the age range is concerned, where do you think the majority of members fall?
Probably. Well, I don't know. You got a lot of hipsters.
I know,
but then
right?
you also have people who were, young adults during the LaserDisc heyday. So I would say most people probably fall within 20 to 40, 20 to 30, 20 to 30.
Okay, Sam.
I would think, I'm going to go 30 to 40.
Okay, both of you are close. The largest group is from 35 to 44.
Okay, yeah.
Over 30%
Sam
of the
was
group.
closer, I think, yeah.
But the majority of the group, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75% of the group falls between 25 and 54.
Okay.
Wow.
Which, is,
Not surprising.
Yeah.
Any older and you're dead, and any younger and you don't even know what physical media is.
But you're right. I thought the hipster
Right.
quotient was going to be a possible wild card. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yep.
And the only other information I think would be interesting to ask you guys about, like what you'd think is how many posts, the average number of posts each month over the past year. How many do you think there are
Each
month?
month? The average number of posts. Does that mean original posts or replies as well?
No, not replies,
Originals.
posts.
Original posts. Okay, I'm gonna have to say 200.
And I was going to go
Sam?
150. So.
Oh, you guys are way wrong. It's almost 10 times.
Really?
It's 1,400
Wow.
What?
I s-
In a month?
in a month.
Wow. I swear I
can't be
only see
right.
like 10 at a clip, and then they last for 5
Me
days.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I do delete a lot of
Oh,
these.
okay.
Yeah, you actually, people don't actually believe me when I talk about how many posts I probably delete 20 posts a day.
Nice.
Crazy.
And that's a lot of just non-LD related content. But yeah, it's astonishing. I didn't think it. I thought it included replies and all that stuff too, but it said number of original
Wow.
posts each month is average 1,400, which is insane. But
That can't be
that's,
right. There's no way that's right.
Yeah, I just think I underestimated it. So I think it's legit.
Man. All right.
Yeah,
Fine.
actually, okay, all right. So, and in the month that we talked about this information, which was actually for the last podcast, and I totally dropped the ball on that.
Sorry, Vincent.
But the top post sorry, Vincent, really sorry. But the top post for that month was the DVDO post where
Oh.
Peter just kept commenting on it, and other people. It was 300 or 400 comments. It had like 300 or 400 comments and like 10 likes.
Yeah, about
Which is ridiculous.
the iScan duos that were for sale. Yeah, that was a
Yes.
huge thread.
Yes. Yeah. And what do you think the second most popular one from last month was? Because it's hilarious.
the
It's
chick-
fucking hilarious.
The naked chick with the video that guy made where his girlfriend was like covering her
No.
naughty bets with LaserDiscs.
No, I should say not. It actually wasn't, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sam?
The Sony hatred
Oh shit!
one.
Yeah. It was actually the post where a guy said he used the fact that he likes LaserDiscs as a pickup line.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't see
that
that.
was the second. That was the second one. He probably has you blocked.
Yeah,
Probably.
But yeah, he said he used it. He shared a screenshot from a hookup site.
yeah.
What's his
And he's
name?
like,
What's his name?
I can't
Give me his
remember
name,
off the top of
fucker.
my head right now. I can't remember his name right now. But he put this screenshot. It was
kill
like, I watch LaserDiscs, and she's like, "What the fuck are those?" He's like, "Come over and find out." Basically.
LaserDisc and chill.
Yeah, dude. It was hilarious. It was great.
You know what?
Yeah.
Any kind of loser that would use LaserDiscs as a pickup can keep me blocked. That's fine. That's fine. I don't care.
But yeah, that's all I got for that, man. I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's not something I really care about because like 60% of the people who are there don't post ever.
Yeah.
What about
Maybe only comment
what about
every
top
once in a while,
posters
so.
and all that stuff? Don't you have that?
Oh well, I'm not going to share that information, bro.
Why?
should I?
Confidential.
It's me.
What for?
We all know it's
And?
me.
It's not you. Not at all.
Oh, Vincent told me it was me. Okay.
Oh, he
Yeah,
lied.
he just made you feel better.
Yeah, he's patting you on the head.
Thanks, Vincent. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to the mailbag.
Yeah.
All right.
Mailbag's
Come
on
get in
your
our bag,
face. All right.
Yep.
Show me your mailbag. Never mind.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Looking good. Looking
Yeah, nice and veiny.
good. I like it. Yep.
Yeah. I appreciate your manscaping this
Twist
month.
it around.
Thanks.
Twist it around.
Ooh, torsion.
Yeah. Peter Biancardi writes,
I know what he's gonna
Any-
write.
anyone experience or ever hear the term laser sag before?
Oh my god.
Sam will know the story. Yeah, speaking
I do.
of mailbags,
I can tell you
and sagging.
about laser sag.
Sagginess.
Yeah.
Laser.
I've never heard of it. Have you guys?
No, I haven't, and apparently it's some sort of insider speak talking about the inner structure of the laser pickup itself. Apparently, there's some tiny magnets in there that help the laser bounce around or ride its track or whatever, and eventually they lose power or whatever, and the laser sags a little bit. But I've never heard it used in conjunction with anything LaserDisc related. It's just either your optics are bad,
with reality?
your lens is no good or something like that. And it was just this really abstract moment where we were recommending CLDS 201 as like a kind of great like starter deck because some guy was going to pick it up at a thrift store, and it was like that or like a karaoke multi-disc or something like that. I'm like, yeah, definitely the 201. It's like not the ultimate, but it's like a good solid, pure analog signal. And the guy was like, oh, that was from 1992, and that player and everything of this suffers from laser sag. And and Peter was bringing up other like benchmark players like the LDS2 and stuff. He's like, oh no, don't buy those because they're gonna have laser sag. And he was talking about how they did all these direct comparisons back in the 90s, and Peter's like, I've never heard of laser sag. What are you talking about? And it was just basically like the optics will go bad, but he was like saying that they will have gone bad within 20 years, and then Peter's like, all of my units are playing fine. And he's like, well, good luck 20 years from now.
Yeah, and he
So
also
40 years
said,
out.
Yeah.
he also said something along the lines of the internet wasn't around when LaserDiscs were out.
Yeah, when they were doing all
which is the
these tests.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
In the mid 90s and beyond when they were doing these tests. Yeah.
Yeah, the internet wasn't popular.
So yeah, I think Magnus came in and gave an example of like what laser sag could be or whatever. But yeah, it's just like along the lines
it
of
sounds like some
your
made-up
capacitors might melt eventually or something like that. There's no reason to say there's a deal breaker in picking up a player from 92. Yeah, so
Right. And the real thing,
I think Sam's advice was the best. You got to get Insane Clown Posse on the.
the magnet.
fucking
issue.
magnets. How do they
I
work?
understand how.
Yeah, I mean, I think
They know how they
They
work.
do.
I think the biggest question that you have to ask yourself, in regards to all this, is who cares?
It's true, right?
But anyway, moving on. Mikhail
Gorbachev.
Graugard says, "Hi guys. Actually, it's a combination of questions. All right. So I'll ask each question and then we can answer them
Okay.
as I go along. What year did each of you buy your first LaserDisc player, and what was the first movie you bought? I think the year I bought my LaserDisc player was 2014, and the first LaserDisc movie I bought was before I found a player, and it was a whole stack of discs. I don't remember the first one I picked up, but it might have been The Last Boy Scout, so there you go.
All right.
I knew about LaserDisc since I was in elementary school, but I didn't actually pick up a deck until 2005, I think, where I found an old Marantz LV 510 at a yard sale for $20. Nice. And I guess the first disc I had wasn't actually a whole set. It was the disc that was in the player, and it was the last 10 minutes and then the credits of Apocalypse Now.
That's awesome.
Dude, it's ridiculous because it's so stupid. It's got like the last 10 minutes on one side, and then the whole other side is the credits separate.
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it's really insane. So yeah, that's yeah. But the first thing I purchased on purpose after I bought that player was the Star Trek: The Animated Series box set, which I think was actually
nice.
Besides the Criterion box sets, I think it was one of the first box sets ever released in the U.S. But anyway, whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Cool.
But I bought it for $10 at a whatever, an antique store.
All right, Sam, outdo us.
All right, 1993, y'all. And my first discs I bought from Saturday Matinee at the Enfield Square Mall, and that was Alien 3, Project A-ko, and Gulf Force Eternal Story. I bought them all on the same night.
Fuck yeah.
And then I went over to Filene's, and I bought my Sony MDP-333, and that thing was nothing but trouble. I mean, oh no, it fucking works as well as it did then. Right goddamn now. Suck it.
Yeah.
That Sony was a workhorse, man. I took that thing everywhere, and the only quote I think I can remember offhand from someone that came and saw it for the first time was my buddy Mike in my band, who came and I was watching The Abyss, and he said, "Oh my God, that is the clearest picture I've ever seen on a television ever." But it's grainy, awesome. And it's not Pioneer. It's the worst picture ever. Oh, hold on. What's that on the horizon? Oh, it's the world's hairiest, biggest, veiniest dick. Get ready to suck it, everybody.
Welcome back to LDF. Welcome back.
Thank you. So I will be getting buried with my Sony MDP-333 because that is pretty much next to my wife. It's the only thing I truly love.
Oddly enough, my first player was a Sony player as well.
Ah, so nice.
There you go. And I loved it.
And to be honest, I always, every time they come up, I'm like, I'm going to go buy one just to
be an asshole.
Tell these people to go fuck themselves. Yeah. And just to show it to them all the time, like, oh, check it out, guys. I'm watching this new disc I got on my Sony. That works perfectly. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck Pioneer.
I do want to pick up a Sony sooner or later.
You should.
Again.
Yeah.
Because...
so do I.
Yeah, I kind of regret selling the first one I had there because I really liked that player. It was nice, and I sold it and it died in shipping. So,
dude, I was this close. Somebody bought it I made a decision to buy it, and then I figured out somebody had bought it, and within like 10 minutes, and it was some high-end Japanese model. It was like a MDP 999D or something like that. Beautiful fucking player, wood grain size.
Love those.
Slick as fuck. Oh. Yeah, slick as fuck. And their jog and shuttle dial. It's like, I don't know how they don't face it. It's not face with the. It's not parallel to the faceplate of the player. It's like tilted upward. I don't know. There's something classic about it.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah, I'm gonna next time it comes up. It's mine.
Yep.
Get that dick, Sean.
Yeah, get that dick on the horizon.
All right, very cool. This next question. For me, it was 1994. I was 18. It was a Samsung yada 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 only player, and my first movie I bought was Dennis the Menace. What?
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Oh, because it was the cheapest and newest one they had in the store, and it wasn't even in cinemas at Denmark at that point.
And he got a Samsung. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay. So that was his only question, and he says, "Thanks for the awesome podcast. P.S. I have lots more questions. If you make loads more podcasts,
we will.
So I will save them for then."
Excellent.
Okay, cool. Next question, Melinda McClure.
Hi, Melinda.
We love you, Melinda.
We do, yes. Hello, fellow LD collectors. Although I like it better when we're called LD Chiefs. So if you could change that for next time.
Or LD Gurus.
Yeah.
LD Gurus.
No,
makes my day,
Chiefs.
too.
LD
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Come on. Gotta go with that.
Yeah.
Loving the podcast. Just wondering, any chance you will make the podcast available for us to download so we can listen anywhere?
Yes.
So wanting to listen to you at work, but I don't have use of my phone, but I can listen to a podcast using my MP3 player. So any chance of that happening? Funny you should mention that.
Yes.
Very funny.
Sam, why don't you fill her in?
Yeah, we did look at and kind of hashed out all the things that we need to do to kind of invest in that, and also talked about some other things we're looking at kind of doing to make the podcast a little cooler and better and whatnot. But yeah, we will be doing that shortly. In fact, maybe this will be the first one that's out and available.
Yeah,
I was
why
thinking
don't
the
we?
same thing. This might be the debut.
Yeah, you might be listening to this from iTunes. Who knows? We just have to get a couple things squared away, and it may be happening already by the time you're hearing it. So
Yeah. So there you go, Melinda, just for you.
Welcome to the future.
Your wish has come true. Yes. All right, well, that'll do it for episode 7 of the LaserDiscotheque podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you for joining us. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And feel free to, hit Sam up on his Patreon, which still doesn't exist.
Which it might by the time this airs. Who knows?
But if,
Yeah,
who knows?
also share it on Facebook. Join the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. And that'll do it. This has been your host, Moyke Baud, your other host, Sam Hack, and Shawn. And we will catch you on the flip.